Hey, what's up guys? So I was looking online recently and I stumbled across a dash cam that's advertised as an 8K dash cam. And this is definitely a first. Most dash cams currently top out at 4K. Not only that, this 8K dash cam also comes with a rear-facing camera that's advertised to record at 2.5K. Now, what if I told you though that none of this is actually true? Remember the video that I did about a lot of the different fake 4K dash cams that are currently out on the market? Well, it looks like this is the first fake 8K dash cam. And in this video, we're going to take a closer look here at this fake 8K dashcam. We're going to take a look at some sample footage, of course. We'll compare it to several other dashcams, including a 2.5K dashcam, a 4K dashcam, and a full-on 8K camera. And then finally, let's take a look at what an 8K dashcam would really be like in practice. And so in this video, we're going to take a closer look now here to see what's really going on with this fake 8K dashcam. Now, when you take a look at this dash cam, it's definitely advertised as an 8K dash cam. It's written all over the sales page for it. It says 8K on the box. It says 8K on the dash cam. When you go through the menu options, you can select the 8K option in the dash cam, and the same thing when you're connected in the app as well. It'll say 8K on the dash cam's LCD display. And then the video files it creates even has the text 8K stamped directly onto it. And so as you can see, they're definitely advertising it as an 8K dashcam, no doubt about it. Now, when I first heard about it, one of my first questions was, well, what image sensor are they using here to capture in 8K? They don't specify the exact model anywhere. However, on their Amazon listing, they do mention that it uses a Sony Starvis sensor. And if you head over to Sony's website and take a look at their entire lineup of different Starvis and Starvis 2 sensors, they've got a bunch of options that can record at 1080p or 2K or even 4K, but they only have one 8K sensor. That's the 61 megapixel Sony Starvis IMX455. And that's a high-end sensor that's utilized in cameras that cost literally thousands of dollars. It's also a physically large full-frame 35mm sensor, which is part of the reason why it's so expensive. Now, different cameras do have different size image sensors, and if we wanted to take a look at your popular 2K Starvis sensors, for example, those are going to be your 1/2.8 type sensors. And to give you some context for what that means, here's different image sensor sizes. The full-frame sensor is right on top, and 1/2.8 inches would be somewhere between the two smallest sensors they show in this illustration. Now, you don't necessarily need a full-frame sensor to record in 8K. For example, if we look at the 8K Insta360 Ace Pro, which we're going to check out here in this video too, that uses a 1/1.3 inch sensor. And that size puts us somewhere between the 1 inch and 1/1.7 inch shown in this image. And so again, you don't necessarily need a full frame sensor to do 8K recording. Now again, coming back to this fake 8K dashcam though, they do mention explicitly that it utilizes a Sony Starvis sensor. But given that Sony's only 8K Starvis sensor is full frame, that's actually way too big to fit into this tiny camera and lens setup. Not to mention, it's also way too expensive to be utilized in a cheap dash cam like this. Now, if you take a look at the video files that come out of this dash cam, starting first with the front camera, you're going to notice that the video quality is actually pretty poor. The video files themselves are actually only going to be 1440p videos. 1440p is what we traditionally refer to as 2K or 2.5K. I'm going to use the terms interchangeably here in this video. Now, 2K dashcams are actually very common and inexpensive. There's a very popular Sony Starvis image sensor that records in 2K. It's the Sony IMX335. It's in use in like half the different dashcams on the market. However, when you take a look at the video quality itself, it looks significantly worse than what you typically see out of 2K Sony Starvis dashcams. And speaking of which, let's take a closer look now here to see how the video quality from this dashcam compares to several other options. And to start things off, let's begin here first by comparing it with another dashcam that's also recording at 1440p. And you'll notice that when it comes to capturing important details such as license plates, it doesn't compare to even other dashcams that record at the exact same resolution. In optimal situations like a car stopped directly ahead of you, okay, it's able to capture the plate, but if it's in the next lane over or if it's moving or anything, you're kind of out of luck here. And if we take a look at another example here, driving next to a car here in front of us, this is a standard situation where other dashcams are able to capture the plates, but this fake 8K dashcam can't do it. Now for fun though, what if we were to step it up and compare it to an actual 8K camera? Well, here's an easy situation at low speed in traffic, and with the 8K camera, it can easily capture the license plates of the two cars closest to us. But with the fake 8K dashcam, it's like it's trying, but it can't quite do it. And then if we take a look at that black minivan a little farther forward, the license plate captured on the fake 8K dashcam is a muddled mess, but with the actual 8K dashcam, you can still make out those digits. Now, it's not always just about license plates though. If we were to zoom into that plane that's flying overhead, with the fake 8K dashcam, you can kind of make out the shape of the plane, but with the real 8K camera, you can even make out the colors of the plane and tell that it's a Southwest Airlines flight. And so as you can see, the quality you would get from a true 8K dashcam is significantly different than what we see from this fake 8K model. And then switching over to the rear camera, the one that they advertise is recording at 2.5K, well, it turns out it records at just 720p, which is even lower than 1080p. There's also these weird lines that keep going across the frame. I thought it was a bad cable connection somewhere, so I reseated all the cables to double check, but this is just the way the video comes out. Either way though, if we compare the video quality of this rear camera to another dash cam that actually does record at 2K or 2.5K back behind, you can see the video quality is light years apart. With the good dash cam, you can capture so much more detail on not just the license plate, but the badge of the car or the detail on the plants on the side of the video. And so just like with the front camera, the video quality coming out of the rear camera is significantly worse than what you would expect. Now, all the videos coming out of the rear camera are actually reversed. There is an option in the settings to mirror the footage coming out of the rear camera, but it only affects what's previewed on the LCD display on the back of the dash cam. It doesn't actually flip the video footage itself. And so for that reason, when I'm doing my comparisons here with the other dash cams, I'm actually flipping the video from this fake 8K dash cam. That way everything still looks correct. Now, coming back to the poor video quality, one of the reasons why you see this is the fact that the bit rate here from the dash cam is actually much lower than average. For example, with the front camera that's recording at 1440p, it's recording at about 7 to 9 megabits or so. And to compare that with the other 2K dashcam that we used here in this video, that one's recording with the bit rate closer to 28 to 30 megabits per second, so roughly 3 times the bit rate. Plus, it's also doing that while recording at 30 FPS to give us a smoother video, as opposed to just 25 FPS on this fake 8K dashcam. Now, there's a lot of other things as well about this dashcam that wind up not being true. For example, they mentioned that it uses USB Type-C, but you can clearly see on the top of the dashcam that it uses mini USB. And mini USB at this point, of course, is an older connector. On the front page of the listing, they mentioned that it records with HDR. That's not true either. Throughout the rest of the listing, though, they mentioned WDR, which is less effective than HDR. I suppose we could chalk that up to a typo, but there's a lot of other things as well. They mentioned that it has 4 infrared lights. It doesn't have any. But that's not a big deal either because those IR LEDs are only useful for the interior cabin cameras. They're not needed for the front and rear cameras, which is what this one comes with. They advertise it coming with GPS, which is true. The GPS antenna is actually built into the power cable, though in practice it doesn't work very well. For example, if you take a look at the video footage, it's stamped with your speed as well as your coordinates, the latitude and longitude, though unfortunately, those don't display or update properly. And so as you can see, there's a lot of stuff about the dashcam that's either poorly implemented or just flat out untrue. Now, that said, the real kind of highlight of this dashcam is the fact that it records at 8K, or supposedly at least, and it kind of made me wonder, like, what would it look like if we had a dashcam that actually did record in 8K? I see that in the comments sometimes, people saying like, hey, I don't want a 4K dashcam, I want an 8K dashcam. There's certainly going to be trade-offs for a dashcam that does record at 8K, so let's take a closer look at what that would look like. Now, shooting at 8K is actually very demanding on all the different parts of the system. It requires better sensors and faster processors. You're going to need additional cooling to keep the system reliable and not be overheating all the time. It's also harder for your computer to play back the video footage later, and it takes up a lot more space on your memory card to save all the 8K footage. And to get a sense of the benefits of 8K over something like 4K, I wanted to compare this Insta360 Ace Pro that records in 8K to the VFO A229 Pro that records in 4K. That's my current favorite all-around 4K dashcam. And looking at the video footage, surprisingly, I didn't actually see a big improvement here jumping to 8K. In fact, in many situations, it turns out the 4K dashcam did a better job of capturing fine details such as license plates. The details look sharper and crisper on the 4K dashcam, while they can be harder to make out when pushing the limits on the 8K dashcam. And my guess as to why this has to do with the image processing that the different companies are using. With the 8K camera, it looks like there's more noise reduction going on, which would explain some of these results that I've been seeing here. You see, the lens in front of its image sensor is manufactured by Leica, who is known for making good quality lenses. And so I suspect that the lens itself does have sufficient resolving capability, but it's just being hampered by some of the image processing going on the back end. And so when it comes to dash cams specifically compared to other types of cameras, there's often different optimizations that you need. I've done a whole other video that goes into more technical detail and discussion about things like this. But either way, there's certainly other things that you need to consider besides just choosing a camera that has more megapixels. For example, if we take a look at the bit rates and file sizes of the different cameras that I used here in this video, you'll notice first that the bit rate, or how much data and information it's saving per second, it's lowest with this fake 8K dashcam, which explains the video quality that we saw. And then as we keep stepping it up to better dash cams at higher resolutions, you'll notice that the bitrate keeps going up. And this is also going to result in larger file sizes. With the fake 8K dash cam, the file sizes out of the front camera are only about 70 megabytes per minute. It's over 200 megabytes per minute on the good 2K dash cam, 450 megabytes a minute on the 4K dash cam, and then 1.3 gigabytes per minute on the 8K camera. Now, the frame rates do vary a little bit here. The 8K camera can only record at 24 frames per second. If we were to imagine a dash cam that's recording at 30 frames per second and still maintaining the same video quality, that would give you file sizes that are about 1.6 gigabytes per minute. Now that's a lot of video to be working with to try to transfer wirelessly over to your phone or copy over to your computer. Additionally, working with the 8K video can be tough on your computer too. Most people don't need 8K video to like play back on 8K TVs or like 8K on your phone or anything. That's purely just to give you like added details so that you can zoom in more and capture details like faces and license plates. But nevertheless, that's gonna be a struggle for a lot of computers. For example, my computer that I use for doing all these YouTube videos, it's an Apple Mac Mini with an M2 Pro processor. And even that powerful and newer computer still struggles at playing back some 8K video. Some of the video footage can actually get kind of choppy. And I don't think that's actually due to the 24 FPS versus 30. And if you're curious to test it out, you can actually try switching this video to playback in 8K. The video footage is going to be more compressed than what you're getting straight out of the camera, so it is going to be a little bit easier to play back. It's kind of optimized for streaming and whatnot. But nevertheless, it is going to be most likely a struggle to play back the raw 8K video footage on most devices, I would imagine. But either way, as technology advances and cameras get more powerful, computers get faster, memory cards get bigger, etc., it wouldn't surprise me at some point to see more and more true 8K dashcams coming out on the market. But when it comes to this 8K dashcam that we've seen online, unfortunately, this dashcam is not actually an 8K dashcam. It's one of the many that uses false and misleading advertising to try and generate sales. If you're watching this video and you were looking at it specifically because you were considering purchasing this dashcam, hopefully this video winds up being helpful to, well, help you avoid getting scammed out of your money. If you're looking for a recommendation on a good dashcam, one that actually works well, in that case, I've recently done a video that goes over the very best dashcams on the market. You can check out that video. I'll link to it down in the description below, along with all the other cameras that I've talked about in this video too. And so with that said, yeah, that's a look here at this fake 8K dashcam and kind of a look as far as what true 8K dashcams would be like as well. So yeah, this is a fun one. A little different than what I would normally do, but definitely fun to do as well. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys are doing great, and I'll see you in the next one.